Welcome back to the morning show. It's Wise Guy Wednesday, one of our favorite segments of the week. And today, we're going to have some fun with science, aren't we?
Right. We're going to make some slimy, silly putty stuff.
Matt's selling.
Can't go wrong there.
And Matt comes in and goes, ooh, a glass of milk. Well, it turns out that's not milk.
Milk, water, and Kool-Aid, right?
Right. This will give you quite a mustache. This is glue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So don't drink it.
Do not drink
Right.
that stuff.
Gotcha.
So we made slime last time, 2 weeks ago, and I had a bunch of emails for people who wanted to make this at home because I'd mentioned that there's a recipe that you can do this yourself. And so I tried it at home because I'd never actually done it, and it was so cool I had to bring it in and do it here. So here's what you do. You get Elmer's glue. You get borax, which you can get in the laundry detergent aisle at the grocery store, and water. Okay, and so what you do is, first of all, you make this borax solution. You take a couple of cups of water, put a couple of teaspoons or tablespoons of borax in there, and you stir it up.
So is this kind of eyeball, or are there actually...
Just eyeball. No, for this part, it doesn't matter. You just, because it's not all going to dissolve, and some will sit on the bottom, but you just ignore that part.
Okay.
Then you take this borax solution, and you take equal parts of borax solution, and here I have it in a glass, and I put a few drops of food coloring in there just to make it red.
Okay.
And water, equal amount of water, and equal amount of Elmer's glue. And you're going to mix this together. So that's what we're going to do right here.
You can make it any color you want.
You can make it any color you want. So if you want a more sort of slimy, boogery thing, you'd use green. If you want the red stuff, that you use that. It's great. Okay,
You're
so
the only guest that ever uses the word boogery.
And returns the following week.
it's a technical physics term. Did you know that?
Oh, is it?
Yes. Okay, so you mix the water and the glue togetger. I feel like a cooking show.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do this in Mom's blender, probably.
No.
Probably not. Well, you at least want to ask first, that's for sure. And you don't want to throw this down the sink either, by the way. But anyway, so this is now runny, gluey stuff. Now we're going to pour in this borax, and watch what happens. This borax solution, it instantly gets thick.
What's the word you use for that?
Boogery. Okay. Now this stuff is orange, and so now you get this
I was hoping
really
for something
slimy,
more along the lines of gelatinous. But
well, that's a good word too. And then what you need to do is put this. Would you open that baggie for me?
This looks like that meal that Gabrielle made for Thanksgiving.
but orange.
Put it in some onions in it, you got it made.
Throw it in a baggie, and then you can just sort of squish it around for a little while. And after a few minutes of squishing around, it becomes this stuff. Okay, and it gets kind of solid, and you can play with it here. You can take a little piece. You can take
I have to share?
No, that's right.
Well, this has been refrigerated.
No, it's just been. You just play with it for a few minutes, and then it gets. It's no longer slimy, and it gets kind of like a ball. And the neat stuff about this. And now I need to.
Now, how long does this last? If you keep it in a bag, will it last indefinitely?
It lasts a very long time.
Make a new batch every day.
And the cool thing is, if you just put it in your hand, it flows. It's just like a liquid. Okay. If you yank on it quickly, it breaks like a solid. And in fact, you can make this into like a little ball.
Wait a minute, you're working science into this.
I am. You can make this into a little ball, and it'll bounce. See that? So, is it a liquid or is it a solid? That's the question. Ooh. And in fact, it's kind of what we call a non-Newtonian liquid because its behavior depends on how fast you try to squish it or how quickly you try to change its shape. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next segment. We're going to make the coolest stuff ever, which is a non-Newtonian liquid that you can make in your own kitchen.
Okay, now just very quickly, if parents decide to use your recipe at home for the children, is this toxic, non-toxic?
No, this stuff is, you wouldn't want to eat it like you wouldn't want to eat too much glue, but it's not going to hurt you to play with it, and you can use it to pick up pictures in newspapers, and you can do all kinds of neat stuff with it, but it's not going to hurt you.
And you mentioned disposal, too.
Right, so the thing is, this stuff gets very thick when you mix it together, so you wouldn't want this stuff being thick in your pipes, in your plumbing.
How do you dispose of it? How do you wash that bowl?
I throw the stuff in the garbage as much as I can, and then I just wash it out and put it down the sink.
All right, well, as cool as this is, we're going to be doing the coolest stuff ever in our next segment.
Much more quotes.
That's a quote from Matt Selling.
Can't wait for that. Well, things are coming up roses in our Wish You Were Here segment this morning.